Good morning, TikTok. It's Saturday before Easter 2023, and I just wanted to give you a small reflection. I was reflecting on a couple things. I just want to talk about trust, all right, as we enter the Easter season. I want to tell you a quick story, and I'll make it as quick as I can because I don't do quick stories. I went elk hunting a few years ago out in Colorado. And I just skip a whole bunch of parts. We went way back in the wilderness in Gunnison National Forest. Now, this was an area that the people I went with had been there before. We were about 17 miles back in. So three of us, two family members of mine, we decided to go to this one area that I'd never been. And we all rode in on two four-wheelers. And rode in, then we walked. And what I thought we did was walk straight down like a little road and then straight back in. And that's what I think we did. And we were out there for hours upon hours, and it was all day. And we walked probably back a good couple miles anyhow. And so anyways, it was time to leave. It started getting dark, and I caught up with the guys, and we kept walking and walking. And I'm like, man, that's weird. We didn't walk this far walking in. The bottom line is we were lost, okay? And we started doing this, and everybody started contemplating. As I said before in a couple videos, I used to be in Boy Scouts, and one thing I did is we set up little mock places where we would do reading on a compass. Well, I'm always running behind a little bit when we're hunting and stuff, and I was standing by the four-wheeler, and they're like, come on, we got to go. We got to get in the woods, blah, 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 blah. And what I was doing was taking a reading on my compass. Well, they didn't know that. We got out there, it was getting dark, and I said, guys, let's just be honest, we're lost. And I said, you're lost, is what I said. And he goes, well, if I'm lost, you're lost. I go, you're never lost. It was a mindset we did with the kids. I says, you're never really lost. I says, you're just temporarily misplaced. And you got to tell yourself that kind of thing. Well, anyways, I pull out this thing right here, this compass, all right? This compass is what got us back. It was this compass right here. Now, this is a little more fancy. This is for reading maps and triangulating and things like that and elevations and stuff. But anyhow, you get the picture. But it does northeast, southwest, okay? And anyways, make a long story short, we got going where we were going. Well, and I grabbed the compass out, and he's like, what are you doing? And I go, he goes, unless you have a reading. I says, I have a reading. I took it. That's what I was doing at the four-wheeler when you told me to hurry up. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm sitting there, and they didn't trust me. And then I got a class on compass reading from the two people that were with me. They knew everything about it. And I said, look, I teach this stuff. I know what I'm doing. But, there was a part of me inside that was scared. I mean, had we went the wrong way, we were actually headed that way, we would have been about 30 or 40 miles from the nearest anything. And it just opens up real big. But regardless, so I started following the compass, and they're like, we walked this far? I'm like, yeah, well, we've walked way out of the way. We have to go this way, And so we started going, and all they kept saying is, we got to go back and look for this field. We got to go back and look for this field on the way in. I said, look, this is what lost people do. And then, everything starts becoming familiar. You start recognizing everything that you'd never seen before. And I said, look, all I know is the compass says this. And then, of course, I got another, class on how to read a compass. I said, look, I know what I'm doing. And I was nervous inside, to be quite honest with you, but I had to trust this thing, okay? And lo and behold, at the last minute or so, they're like, I'm going back. I'm not following you no more, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go look for that field. Okay. I walked about another 20 to 30 yards because I kept stopping, taking readings on the way. And lo and behold, I was literally 30 feet from the four-wheeler. And I yelled at them as they turned around. I said, hey, the four-wheelers are right here. And so I'm not trying to say this to be a hero. I just want to talk about trust. And, come the Easter season, you can believe in what you want to believe. I don't care. I just thought I would tell you, that is how the Christian journey is too. The Bible says you need to trust in Jesus. And the thing is, just like we were there, we knew where we were going, but we just didn't know how to get there, so to speak, And we had to trust that on this thing to get us where we were heading. And, same as the Christian life, if you've accepted Christ, you're going to heaven. I mean, it might be a rough road on the way there, but you have to trust him. And if you haven't trusted him, you need to. And but anyways, that's my short story about trust, and one of the life stories that I had that I could correlate with that. Anyways, hey, you guys have a wonderful Easter this year. God bless all of you, and you all stay strong.